Hi everyone, this is Dr. West today. Today I want to talk to you as leaders about the principles of sowing. The title of my talk is 8 Principles of Sowing into the Life of Others. This is a big topic, we could spend hours on it, but just want to give you kind of highlights as you think about this in your life. Of course, the sowing, the principle of sowing, it comes from the imagery of farming, people sowing seeds. And of course, in the Gospel of Mark, there's the parable of the sower. I'm not going to read it now, but look it up if you have not read it before. But the principle of sowing, the way I see it, into the life of others, is giving something of value that has the potential to germinate and grow. What do I mean by sowing into the life of others? What can you give them from yourself? It could be knowledge, it could be wisdom, it could be love, it could be encouragement. It's something that comes out of you that will hopefully is received on the other end and has potential to grow. So I'm gonna give you 8 principles on the sowing concept. Number one is sow all the time. Sow all the time. What do I mean by that? Is sow all the time. At work, at home, at church. Of course, wait for the right time. Wait for teachable moments. But do you have something to sow? Do you have something to give? Just give it. Sow all the time. Make that your life goal. Number two is sow into all people. This is not just at work. A lot of times I see leaders succeeding greatly at work and then failing in other areas of their life. No, you are a leader everywhere, not just a leader at work and in your organization. So into your wife, husband, children, brothers, team members, fellow parishioners, it could be a stranger, just sowing into all the people. Now, the one thing I want to caution you with is do not become Mr. Teacher, as I call it. Meaning, every time people talk to you, the only thing or the only way you can relate to them is by being their teacher. That can get annoying. Don't do that. But sowing, being encouraging, being uplifting, and when the right time comes, sharing what you have and what you learned. Now, of course, you have to remember the great principle of you cannot give what you do not have. You cannot give what you do not have. So if you want to give, you have to fill up first. So how are you filling up your soul, your spirit, your mind, so you can give and so into the life of others? Okay, number three is sow regardless of the return. And this is huge. This is probably the most important point out of the 8. Because a lot of times we stop sowing or we don't even start sowing into the life of others because we are not seeing return, we're not seeing results, we don't think we're going to see results, and this is a mistake. So what I want to encourage you with is make the success, how you define success in the area of sowing, is if you had the opportunity to share, to sow, and if it was received, maybe, but not the results. Why? Because here's the thing. It may take years for results to happen. Think of something that somebody told you maybe 10 years ago that you never acted on, but then something else happened 10 years later and you connected the dots. And that seed that someone deposited in your soul and spirit 10 years before, it germinated now. Okay? So just sow the seeds. Don't worry about the results right now. All right. Number 4 is sow more into those who have shown interest and progress. Sow more into those who have shown interest and progress. So I just said sow into all people, that is true. But I'm saying sow more into those who show interest and progress and results. Okay? So if you have oodles of time and you can sow into everyone, fine, go for it. But if there's somebody in your circle who is showing promise, I would sow more into them. I wouldn't just pick that one person you think has all the results and just sow them and ignore everyone else for many reasons. Number one, you think you know who has potential, but you don't know 100%. A lot of times I thought somebody has a lot of potential, they're going to go for it, and they didn't, and vice versa. So sow into all people, focus on those who are showing progress and showing interest and showing results. Richard Montañez, business leader who was the founder of the Flaming Hot Cheetos. Really inspiring guy. I was hearing him recently, and he said, "I'm not trying to influence everyone, just the right ones." Okay, so there's a lot of truth in that principle. So, are you trying to focus on those right ones, but do so into everyone's life that's around you? All right. The last four principles is sow because it's the right thing to do. You may ask me, Wes, why do I need to do this? Why should I sow? And we may be tempted as leaders to say, oh, I should do this because it's going to give me a lot of return, because it's going to make me successful, because it's going to grow my leaders and my organization. And all that is true. But really, the higher principle to live by, guys, is some things we need to do because they're just the right thing, regardless whether the right thing for us or not. And I really think sowing is the right thing to do. I think when God blesses you, when God gives you, when God increases you, we are meant to bless others with it. It's just the right thing to do. Make that kind of your life maxim. Just do it because it's the right thing to do. All right, number 6, sow because you have something good to give. Sow because you have something good to give. But do you have something good to give? Where are you emotionally? Where are you mentally? Where are you character-wise? And this is, like I said earlier, this is a challenge for you and me to grow every day, to seek the Lord, to increase us every day. If you have something good and you keep it, it's not gonna be as passionate within you as much as if you gave it up and gave it away often. All right. Number 7, sow because that's how leaders are built and people are healed. Sow because that's how leaders are built and people are healed. Do you want to build leaders? You are a leader. Most likely you're a Christian leader if you're following me. You want to be in the business of building other leaders. That's what Jesus did, right? He came into the world to save us and had the atoning work on the cross. But what did he do? What was his ministry like? Yes, he preached to the masses. Yes, he healed. But he was in the business of leader building. He invested a lot into those 12. If you are not investing in key people in your organization, in your church, you are not going to reap the results. I promise you. So how are leaders built? You have to sow into them. Okay, many other things you need to do, but that's definitely one of them. You need to sow into them. And that's how people are healed, when we pour into them, when we love them, when we encourage them, when we uplift them, when we come around them, when we give them something of value that can grow and germinate. All right. And then lastly, sow because it's how you choose to live your life. And this kind of sums it all, and kind of hinted to it earlier. What do you want your life to be summed up as? What are some of the few top statements, if people were to describe you, what would they be? What would they be? I hope one of them is that he poured into people. He sowed into the lives of people. He loved people. He cared for people. And he gave his life in a way for people. So hopefully that helps you, that motivates you to continue the journey of growing and of giving and of sowing into others. God bless you.